right. Doing my little smoke break this morning. And I wanted to holler at y'all. I got bad lighting in this little spot I'm in, but it ain't the end of the world. You gotta excuse the generator making a noise. Man, it's been wild, bro. All the stuff that Trump announced Saturday, Friday, and Saturday that he was gonna do. I ain't had a chance to cover it all. I was actually just sitting back enjoying like the concept and idea that Donald Trump is getting ready to handle business. And then I started watching the news and I saw where they were coming out calling for Joe Biden to step down and Kamala Harris to be president. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, why would they do that? And then it dawned on me. And I got to ask y'all this question. If Joe Biden was to step down and Kamala Harris became president, who would then be vice president? Anybody know? Because Kamala gave her word that she would certify the election. But if they do that, then she ain't got to keep her word that she would certify the election. And whoever else takes her place, I'm feeling like it would be Nancy Pelosi, would not certify that election. Anybody know if Joe stepped down, Kamala became president, who would then serve as vice president? Anybody know how that worked legally? The Speaker of the House. Who's the Speaker? Paul. Mike Johnson. Somebody said they'd pick via election. I would ask ChatGPT, but Mike Johnson. Is that how it works? Will Johnson be now the vice president and be responsible for certifying the election? Is Mike Johnson a rhino? You know, I'm going to tell y'all something that's kind of egging at me. It's digging at me. My spider senses is going on. I came to the office this weekend. It was a whole bunch of military-age Chinese dudes just pacing with their little backpacks. Like they was walking, like they was measuring paces, like the length of the parking lot, the breadth of the parking lot. And it's the third one I done seen this morning doing the same thing. All of them with backpacks. You could tell they military. I mean, they got military haircuts, but they dress like an American citizen, got earbuds in. But you can look in their eyes and tell they ain't normal. And they're just walking, pacing, like measuring. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. All right. Somebody say Mike claims to be Moses. What? Anyway, I think that's what this whole push is for them to make her president in the last days, so they can try not to certify this election, which would lead to a whole bunch of BS, megatons of BS. But I'm not sure. I'm gonna look it up. Johnson is a pushover. Somebody said it's not over. Those demons are way too quiet. Oh, no. We expect them to act a fool. We expect them to act a fool. I ain't expecting them not to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just expecting the Lord to deal with them like he dealt with them on everything else. Because if people ain't figured out this was God's election, then you ain't learned nothing yet. But baby, you just ain't seen nothing yet. So we got that foolishness going on. We had the most profound, I had one of the most profound conversations this weekend. I went to visit some people. And so it's all women, like liberal women, liberal black women, well, really liberal Creole women, and me. And the conversation starts talking about Donald Trump and racism. I'm sitting there saying to myself, do I engage in this conversation? Do I feel like being bothered with this whole Jezebel or not today? And then they irk my nerves. You know what I'm saying? By saying I'm coming in agreement with racism because I voted for Donald Trump. And I ain't gonna lie, I spazzed, y'all. So here's my argument. I said, hey, since Roe v. Wade, how many children have been aborted in America? And I shut up. Nobody knew the number. I said, okay, let's bring it down a little bit. Let's talk about women's reproductive rights. I said, okay, can you not go to the doctor and get a mammogram? Has Donald Trump or the Republicans stopped you from getting a mammogram? Well, I can go get a mammogram anytime I want. I said, okay. We're talking about reproductive rights, right? Yeah. I said, okay, can you not go to the doctor and get a pap smear? Well, I just had a pap smear just recently. I said, okay, so we start talking about reproduction. We're talking about the essential elements of a woman reproducing, the pap smear and the mammogram. The pap smear for making sure that everything is okay so the baby can come through the birth canal. The mammogram to make sure that the glands are able to feed the baby. I said, so nobody stopped you from checking on the things that allow you to reproduce a baby, right? Well, no. So what are you talking about? Well, a woman's right to abortion. I said, okay, so now we understand that reproductive rights and abortion are two different things. Because if it was stopping you from having reproductive rights, you wouldn't be able to do none of the things that you need to do for your health to make sure you can have a baby. And then I went further. I said, has anybody put a chastity belt on you and locked your stuff away to where you can't use it? No. Okay. Now that we at that point where we understand, we're talking about killing babies. I said, now watch this. I said, since Roe v. Wade, 63 million babies have been aborted in America. Never mind the fact that that's damn near 1/4 of the population of the nation that's been murdered by their mothers. I said, on top of that, upwards of 28 million of those abortions have been black babies. 28 million. And so they're sitting there looking. Well, I said, no, let me finish my point. I said, so let me tell you this. I said, how many y'all believe that America's racist and the white man is the devil and the white man is the problem? I said, do you know how many people came over or died on their way over from the transatlantic slave trade? Nobody knew the numbers. I said it was estimated that between Africa, west coast of Africa, and transport all the way to America through the Caribbean islands and everything else, including the people who died in the process of being captured, it was 10 to 12 million black people that died during the transatlantic slave trade. From the point of capture, which they were captured by other tribes, let's be clear, and selling and transporting and delivering and taking delivery, 12 million. I said, so here's the numbers. 63, 20 to 25, 12. I said, so black mothers have done 2 times more damage and murdered 2 times more people, black people, than the transatlantic slave trade. I said, therefore, you are more dangerous than the white man to black people. To black people in general, being in your birth canal is more dangerous than the transatlantic slave trade. Everybody shut up and just sat there silently. I said, so now, you want to talk about racism? It's more dangerous being born black, the process of being born, brought into this realm, from the realm of the spirit, through a birth canal. It's more dangerous to come through a black woman. And they couldn't say nothing. I said, so while you sitting there complaining about reproductive rights, just understand, you are the greatest threat to black people. Coming through your birth canal is the greatest threat. And then you expect me to be stupid enough and believe that Donald Trump is a threat? But I know numbers. I can look at the numbers and see you are the greatest threat. And they couldn't say shit. Couldn't say nothing. The other guy who was there was like, damn. Damn. And so to me, it's like, what are we talking about here? Like, what's this conversation we having? If we gonna talk, let's talk numbers. If you're gonna say you rich, show me your bank account. You see what I'm saying? But America's racist. The place that stops slavery is racist. Come on, man. And then we went further. Because now everybody's sitting there thinking. And I said, now's my time not to be a hypocrite. I'm going to crack their skulls. And so I just peeled open their brains, massaged their brains a little bit, dropped the message and closed them back over. Then I went to this. I said, now watch this. I said, here's the issue that we run into. I said, what was done to you was your glory was removed and your protection was removed. I said, now, you can call it the white man, you can call it's Satan. Period. I said, but most of y'all here don't believe that the devil's real. I said, but your protection was removed because men were moved out of your households and the government became your husband. I said, so now many of you have bad relationships because you tried to take on the role of a man and you're not a man. You're not built to be a man. You're not built to deal with the stress that men deal with because God didn't make you that way. But you tried. Thank you. I lost snack bar. My goodness. God is great. Watch this. So you take on a role of being a man, whether you're married or not. You want to be the head of the household. You want to be the leader of the household because you got hit with feminism. And so now you take on this role where you're trying to be masculine, but the only way you have to exercise that masculine authority is through emotional manipulation. I said, so you want to be masculine, but it's not in your nature to be masculine. You can't be masculine. So your emotions manipulate men. So those of you who have a man in the household, you manipulate them, and then he rejects it and leaves. And so now you're off on your own. Or you have a loveless, sexless marriage. And one of them in particular, she took it to heart because I was talking to her. I really actually was talking at her. And I said, and then the rest of you guys don't get married because you believe there's this, a man has to be a certain way. You have this high standard what a man should be, but there's no standard on what you should be. And you're so focused on what he need to be that you ain't focused on what you need to be. I said, so you'll never be what you're supposed to be to have the man you're supposed to have because you're so focused on what he's not instead of worrying about what you're not. I said, then on top of all that, then when you go out to look for a man, you put on another woman's glory in a weave or extensions and masquerade as with another woman's glory or with an animal's glory, whether it be a horse or some little Asian girl who cut her hair off and donated it. I was like, then Timmy Mello. Thank you, brother. I said, so didn't you expect that glory to attract the right man? You put on an animal's glory and expect to attract a man, but you attract a man who's animalistic because that's whose glory you wear. You put on another woman's glory, which is fraud, and project the fraud and expect to attract someone who's not fraudulent. And he's like, what is a woman's glory? I said, see, there's the problem. You talking about your hair. Bro, by the time that conversation was over, my wife was tapping me like, babe, lay off him. Lay off him. Lay off him. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you just got to tell it like it is. And I said, now watch this. Y'all say Republicans don't love y'all. Y'all say Republican men are racist and misogynist and whatever other damn names you say. I said, but you ain't gonna never hear this from somebody who's a Democrat. You're only gonna hear it from somebody who's a Republican because I love you enough to be bold enough and tell you the truth. I said, telling you the truth is love, not lying to you. So the people who've been lying to you on TV, they don't love you, they're using you. The one who loves you tells you the truth. And I say, I love you because Christ loved me to tell me the truth, so I tell you the truth. Now, what you do with it is up to you. But that's love. Love is telling somebody the truth. And I say, so when you go turn on TV and you hear the news telling you it's misogyny, it's racism, it's the patriarchy, understand those people don't love you. And the only thing you really want as a base emotion, you want to be loved and appreciated. But they don't love you. Hair hats are fraudulent, aka wigs. Yeah, they are fraudulent. Wigs, extensions are fraudulent. But I'm saying, like, they don't love you. The people who love you gonna tell you the truth. They're just gonna tell you like it is. Now, an act of love, you may reject it. You may be mad at me. You may not speak to me again. But it may take you 20 years to come to the realization that, damn, that man told me the truth. You know what I'm saying? But then it might be too late to show the honor and respect and love back, but I did my part. Bro, nothing anybody could say. Nothing anybody could say. Because there's no argument to be had at all. Nothing. No argument to be had. Nothing else to be said. Nothing else to be debated. One of them tried to come back and say, well, I understand what you're saying, but I said, but negates everything that I just said. I said, you understand that but negates everything that comes before, right? I said, so you want to start a whole nother conversation and negate everything that was said. I choose not to engage in a conversation where you just disrespected me and negated the point that I made. When you said but, it's like saying, fuck you, I don't care what you said. Awesome. You can hold a conversation with yourself. It's not, I'm not required to hold a conversation with you. I'm not required to make this point to you. I do it out of love. Nothing could be said. She went on down the road and said what she had to say and da-da-da. I was like, I'm sorry you believe that way. And that was that. There was no re-engaging. I made the point. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't even getting to tap the screen for me, guys. I didn't even get into the bull rings, the Moloch worship. I ain't getting to none of the hardcore stuff. I ain't getting to the shaving of the heads that's going on. I ain't getting to none of that because these women ain't on that level. They ain't running around with the rings in their nose and shaving their head. They ain't doing that crazy foolishness. But it's all the same thing. And you see it. So it's like, come on, man. Let's just keep it real. So I'm gonna keep it even further real with you. If you've seen what's happened in the world since Donald Trump was the Democratic nominee, I mean the president-elect, you've seen the whole world stop playing games. Like the whole world said, nah, we ain't fucking around no more. Zelensky like, nah, let's put it into the war. Putin like, nah, let's put it into the war. Hamas is like, nah, bro, we going home and we gonna sit down and chill because he might kill us all. So here it is. You have this space and time where everything is calmed down, where all these people are getting an opportunity to see everything calm down. If they were told the truth, they would notice, okay, well, I don't hear nothing about the war anymore on the news. I don't hear nothing about Hamas on the news. I don't see, only thing you see going on right now is people marching through New York City who are illegal aliens, literally marching through New York City, acting as if they have the right to march in America. But you got a little peace, right? If the deep state and all the rest of these people just go completely ham and stop Trump, what's going to happen is you're going to have 10 times worse what you had before. Immediately. You see how it all stopped immediately? It's going to all start immediately, but 10 times worse because now the world knows there's no hope. And I said this about Donald Trump running for president. I said it was more important than anything that he gave the world hope. Now, Barack Obama, who got inaugurated on a stage that was a simulated seat of Nimrod or a seat of Satan, sold hope, but didn't bring any hope. But he sold hope. Hope and change. Remember, he was selling hope. Trump brought hope to the world. So, I'm going to tell you, if that happens, it ain't nobody but the Lord, because he done got pissed off and said, all right, I tried to save y'all not listening, whatever, I'm going to let it happen. If we get to that point, which I doubt, I seriously doubt it, I think we're going to go through some stuff, but I don't think we're going to get to the point. But if them people are allowed to come back and do crazy stuff, it's going like this. Boom. It's gonna be fast. Because you saw how it changed at the flip of a dime. And that just goes to show you what true power is. True power changes a dynamic like that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about Kamala conceding the election. We know Kamala conceded. But we know the enemies of America is crazy. They're so crazy that they just ran on killing babies. That was the main premise of the election, was sacrificing to Moloch. So they're crazy. Do I think they're going to be able to get away with it? No. I'm just preparing you for all of it. And mind you, we still got military age Chinese people here, military age Russians, military age Venezuelan gangs, which is basically a paramilitary organization ran by the cartels, which is why Donald Trump came out and said that he's going to turn the cartels into terroristic organizations this weekend and basically blow them up. You know what I'm saying? Basically, you're going to blow them up and wipe them out. You got to understand. And I'll tell you the reason why I have confidence about it not going the other way. I'm just laying out the case for all of it. I don't see Donald Trump and the people around him walking in front of a camera and telling the enemy what they're going to do to him unless they know for certain they're going to be able to do it to him. I don't see him making that kind of drastic, not him, for example, I don't see General Flynn making, and whoever else was in the good side of the deep state, the good guys, I don't see them making that kind of strategic blunder where they come out, thank you, my friend, where they come out and tell the enemy what they're going to do, unless they have ways of restraining their enemies from doing anything. I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't playing. Like, I don't know if you saw the videos over the weekend where he was announcing what he was going to do. For example, like prosecuting, hunting down the child trafficking networks across nations, across countries, and the people in the government that was a part of child trafficking. He ain't playing. And that's what the American people voted for. Now, I noticed some people was like, when you really read the comment section, some people was like, well, you know, some of the illegal aliens should be able to stay. No. That ain't what the people voted for. They ain't vote for that. That's not what the consensus is. The consensus is, no, these people need to go. Period. That's the consensus. Now, there could be a way for them to get in line and get back in. I'm pretty sure everybody would be happy for that. I would be happy for you to do it the right way. Hell, I ain't got no problem with you coming here doing it the right way. But the consensus is, no, they got to go. You know what I'm saying? Now, New York is putting illegals on a bus. This is interesting. And this is what I'm saying. Thank you, Teresa. Or was that Teresa? This is the interesting thing. And guys, we moved away from that conversation I had. Now we're talking about what's in the news. This is the interesting thing. So they marched down the street in New York, which I'm believing that Eric Adams didn't have anything to do with that at this point in time. And then there's an announcement that they're shipping 30,000 of them back to Texas. They're putting 30,000 on a bus going back to Texas. That hit the news. So me in my mind, I'm sitting there thinking, this is the day after they pull a little parade where they're gonna march down the street. You got illegals marching down the street telling Donald Trump he needs to go. An army of illegals. I mean, if you go look at the videos, man, that's like 10, 15, 20,000 people. And so Eric Adams says, now we putting y'all on a bus and we sending y'all back to Texas. Now, if I'm the governor of Texas, what I'm doing is when that bus comes, I'm having a state trooper patrol escort that bus straight to the border, straight to Eagle Pass, and say, okay, yeah, Eagle Pass, go on, leave back out. Go on, get the hell out of here. And Border Patrol, no, you ain't delivering nobody nowhere. Go on and leave. And I'm telling you, I think that's what's going to end up happening. Now, you got these Democrat governors who saying they're going to protect their states from, from Donald Trump administration and all the rest of this crazy stuff. Those people are going to get voted out. Thank you. The video of his plans are from spring 23. They are recirculating now because he won. He called it Agenda 47. Thank you. Okay, makes sense. Watch this. It would make sense that now they're trying to move them. Oh, it would make sense that now they're ready to leave, quite frankly. You know what I'm saying? I know if I was in that situation, I wouldn't want you hunting me down. So I'd be like, man, I'm going back home. But even the messaging, strong messaging will intimidate people into leaving. Oh, that's not the point I was making. I lost my train of thought because these people pulled up in front of me. The point I was making is those Democratic governors who are sitting there saying they're going to defend the people, which they're talking about illegals, watch how their asses get voted out. And if I'm Trump or Abbott or anybody, any Republican governor, when you say you're going to protect them, I'm shipping them all to you. I'm going, because the one thing that, now Trump ain't going to do this because he just going, Trump ain't going to do it. The one thing that woke people up was having them in their cities, having the crime rates go through the roof. You California, y'all want them? Whoosh, here go all of them. 40, 50 million, 600 million. Let them just destroy your economy until you get to the point to where you beg for us to literally kick them out the nation. Well, I don't think Donald going to do that at all. I don't think he'll do it at all. Just got a data warning. You have used up 2 gigabytes of your data. Damn. I done used 2 gigs. That's all right. My man Christopher says it's 436 people listening, 196 likes. Man, y'all got to hit that button, dog. All you got to do is tap the screen. All you got to do is tap the screen. That went down the wrong way. Yeah, so that's where we at out here in these streets, dude. You know what I'm saying? That's where we at. So I'm hoping that, I'm praying that the Lord deal with all these wicked people in the government before they can pull any more plots and schemes and traps and snares, especially not certifying the election, which honestly, that would do even more damage to the Democratic Party. There's been this talking point that Elon Musk stole the election for Donald Trump, which, if I'm not mistaken, when we had a conversation saying that, and we've been proven right, that Joe Biden got 81 million votes, which there was no way Joe Biden got 81 million votes, that we were election deniers, if I'm not mistaken, right? Wasn't that election denial and insurrection talk? Isn't that what it was back then? And so now we have mass election denial going on. All over the place. They're denying the election. And so now I think it's time that if I could give talking points to the conservative media I would bring on governors. I would bring on Democratic congressmen. I would bring on Nancy Pelosi. I would bring on Kamala Harris. I would bring on everybody and say, do you accept the election results of the 2024, just 2024? Do you accept that Donald Trump won the 2024 election? And I would straight up hammer them and flip the election denial script on them. Everybody, come on, do you accept that he won the election? And then they say, well, no. That's election denial and it's insurrection, according to your standards. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. That's election denial according to your standards, and it's insurrection according to your standards. Do you accept the results of the 2024 election? Remember, when it was a debate time, Donald Trump, do you accept the results of the 2020 election? Remember? No. It's time to ask them that same question. Do you accept the results of the election? Yes or no? Will you certify the election? Yes or no? Will you make sure there's a peaceful transition of power? Yes or no? Now, here's the crazy thing. I think old Joe Biden, they're telling Joe Biden he needs to step down. I don't think Joe going to go nowhere. Joe don't have no incentive to step down. Right now, Doug Brandon, in my opinion, did the greatest political backstab we've ever seen in the history of politics. Doug Brandon did that. Him and Joe Biden pulled off the greatest backstab ever. And really, that wasn't even a backstab. That was a blade thrusted under the neck, under the chin, into the head of the Democratic Party for trying to overthrow him. Hold on a second, guys. A blade thrusted into the bottom of the neck, a bottom of the chin, through the throat, up into the brain. You know, that's a death blow. That's what Doug Brandon did. And like, what I thought was interesting, Nancy Pelosi came out and she said, well, had Biden not endorsed Kamala, we would have had an opportunity to do a primary to get somebody else in. And I'm sitting there saying, now, Nancy, you know you didn't want no primary. You know y'all wanted to remove Joe. Y'all want, and then if you go back a couple of weeks ago, well, Nancy, had you spoken to Joe? I haven't spoken to Joe since he stepped down, blah, 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 blah. So I ain't sure if it was Joe saying, okay, y'all don't want me. Y'all gonna mistreat me. Let me endorse Kamala. So y'all deal with this idiot. You know what I'm saying? Somebody says, check this out. Democrats tried to start a race war, civil war, but now their own party is having a civil war. God is great. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I'm not sure if Joe was like, all right, y'all don't want me, let me fully get my full-fledged endorsement of Kamala, y'all keep this retard and keep rolling with her. Or if they just said, no, we going to put Kamala in, Joe, you going to sit down and shut up, or else. I still believe they use Hunter Biden because they had control of the DOJ when Hunter Biden got indicted. It wasn't like it was Trump's DOJ that did it, it was theirs. So I think they were using Hunter Biden as leverage on Joe Biden to get him out of the race. And Joe said, okay, y'all got me for right now. Cool. Nancy, y'all got me. Brock, Michael, y'all got me. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Soros, y'all got me. But watch this. And then he just started coming out jigging. Kamala Harris was a part of every decision that I made. She was an integral part of our administration. Then he hit him with the final blow. Trump supporters are garbage. Hit him with the final blow. And then you notice him come walking out, talking like he's normal. Some people say that's not the real Joe Biden. That's Jim Carrey in a suit, whatever. I don't have no evidence to prove that. I do know that the one Joe Biden that walked out was significantly taller than the other Joe Biden, significantly taller than he was supposed to be. That was weird. You know what I'm saying? Now, I got to give y'all credit on that. Something's up with the tall Joe Biden versus the short Joe Biden. But nonetheless, I don't care. It could be Jim Carrey. It could be a Hollywood actor. All I know is it worked. It worked. It worked. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna argue with you about the weeds. I'm not gonna argue with you about the process. I'm gonna argue with you about the results. And however it happened, it worked. Damn it! Whoever came up with the plan was genius. You know what I'm saying? Do I think Biden voted for Trump? I actually think him and Jill voted for Trump. And I'm gonna tell you something else that I think is extremely interesting. It was Michelle Obama who came out and told women that if their men didn't vote for for Kamala, that they should vote independently of their husbands. And so what ended up happening is right afterwards, all those women that they weaponized, every woman that they weaponized, lost their mind. You know what I'm saying? All of them lost their mind. And you got to understand, you got to be mentally unstable to allow somebody who you don't know, who you'll never meet, who you don't know what's going on in their private life, to lay up here and tell you how to run your household, to behave as a wife. You might say that Barack and Mike really leave the country. I don't know. He probably went back to their house in Hawaii. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what him and his Nephilim did. But the point I'm making is this. Of course, that dissension that you tried to put in people's households is now destroying households. But the only households you were talking to are people who were crazy enough to listen to that. For an election? You gonna disrespect your husband? You gonna argue with your husband and have strife in your household for Kamala? For a witch? Now watch this. Remember, I told y'all about 2 weeks ago, I was like, when Kamala, I don't even know if it was 2 weeks ago, stuff happened so fast. When Kamala went to New Birth Church, I told y'all, I explained to y'all how Kamala was a witch. I explained that she was a part of Alpha Kappa Alpha fraternity, sorority, and that when you join those sororities, fraternities, you practice ceremonial witchcraft. If you were to go and look at pastors, real pastors of God, real apostles of God, all throughout the world, you can go to Africa, you go to Nigeria, Zimbabwe. I mean, you can go to the ones out of Europe and London. You can go to the ones that are in America. The deciding factor was not allowing the Lord, not allowing the witch to rule over the nation. I mean, it's resounding. It was not allowing a witch to rule over America. Not necessarily a woman, but a witch. And then when you go back and look at the pastor of New Birth, he's a part of one of the fraternities. So he's a witch. And when I said, oh, no, this is a giant witch coven coming to her aid, some people's like, man, black people's like, GW, I joined Omega Psi Phi and I love Jesus. And I would tell them, no, dog, that's not how that works. You may think you love Jesus, but you got a wide open door to a whole nother deity that you serve. And I'm pretty sure you ain't running around wearing Jesus paraphernalia like you wearing Omega Sigma, whatever, Omega Psi Phi paraphernalia. You running around with big old horseshoes on you, homie. You ain't running around with a cross on you like that. You run around with a damn horseshoe on you. You proud of your horseshoe. You more proud of your horseshoe than you are your salvation in Jesus Christ. And the Negro got quiet. You know what I'm saying? Real quiet. And it don't help that it ain't like he gonna beat me up. Ain't nothing he could do. Ain't like you about to lay no hands on me. I'm just gonna tell you what it is, dog. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna eat this bread of truth. You're gonna get this truth. Now you may get it in your mouth, you may choke on it, you may spit it back out, it may get down your stomach, and you may vomit it up. But I'm gonna tell you like it is. You know what I'm saying? That ain't how it works. You can't eat from both of those tables. Just like there's certain things I can't do. I can't eat from. That's just something blatant. There's other things you can't eat from both of them tables in life. But that right there, that's an easy one. That's a real easy one. You know what I'm saying? Now I told him I agree that he was fooled. because they told them, you can serve whatever God you want. I told myself, I know they tell you can serve whatever God you want. Blah, 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 blah. But that don't mean that you ain't having an allegiance to another God. But nobody reading that crap if they told you, yeah, when you join this sorority, this fraternity, or this secret society, you know that if you were baptized as a Christian, that the chances are you're going to burn in hell, according to Scripture. In the Bible, it says you cannot eat the bread and drink of the blood, or sip of the cup of demons, and eat of the bread and sip of the cup of the Lord. Now, I just want to tell you this before you join our organization, that most likely you'll burn in hell and your soul will be eternally damned. But do you want to join? Here's your paperwork. Sign up. Give me $1,000. That's even better scripture. The Bible says you can't serve two masters. You know what I'm saying? They ain't going to tell you that when you join it. Hell, I don't even think they know that. But I can tell you what they're going to know. They're going to know now because it's being talked about all over the place. All over the place. So yeah, homie. My smoke break about to be over. I got to go actually hit this content. I noticed that Trump started his appointment for the border czar. I got to go look into that guy. Don't know much about him. I want to see who he is because I know the media is losing their mind over it already. I can always tell when a person's good by how the media react to them. They start going crazy, that means that's a good guy. That's what you can use the left-wing media for, as a canary in a coal mine for people who are good and who are bad. If they're not attacked by them, they're a bad person. If they start getting attacked and slandered and defamation of character, that's a great person. The more hardcore it is, the better off it is for us. Point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? The better it is for us. Yeah, he's the border czar now. So America has made it to January 20th. Watch this. This is the craziest thing. If they assassinate, murder, blow up, do something to Donald Trump, you saw Bitcoin went up to 82,000. The stock market rallied. War stopped. Everything stopped. I want to reiterate. If they're able to stop this, everything going, and everybody will get an opportunity to see. Now I'm hoping that we ain't got to go through that. I'm banking on the fact that the popular vote in the courts of heaven represent a majority of the people in America turning their hearts back to the Lord. But I'm still prayerful about it. You know what I'm saying? That don't nothing crazy happen. Because if we can get to the 20th, let's say the inauguration's at 12 noon and it ends at 12:45, at 1:30, they done. I'm telling you, there go another damn Chinese dude. Military age, bicycle, backpack. Watch this. If we can get to that day, about 1, 2 o'clock, when he goes sit in that seat, it's a wrap. Because you know he going executive order, executive order, executive order, executive order. It's going to be signed, show the picture, sign, show the picture, sign, show the picture. He probably do 100 of them that same day. and then start warfare that same, like literally, he gonna be like, hey, I just, as the ink hits the paper, people gonna start moving. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? I'm just hoping we get to that point with no problem. You dig? I'm not gonna hope, I'm gonna pray that we get to that point with no problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me get in here and get y'all some real videos done. This is just me enjoying my cigar, hanging out with you guys, talking. By the way, this is a Bigelow by Legendary Cigars. Look it up if you want to get one. Bigelow, Legendary Cigars. Great smoke. Awesome smoke. You know what I'm saying? I'll catch up with y'all.